You're in the Business Insurance Zone with me, Steve Savant, national insurance columnist and financial color commentator. This week on The Biz, the Medicare Supplement Insurance Series. And on today's show, Part 4, the Medicare Supplement Insurance Market with MedSup expert Sam Corey III.
When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone. I am your host, Steve Savant. We're broadcasting live to a nationwide audience of financial advisors right here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, home of America's largest fountain. And with me on day 4, Sam Corey. Hey, Sam. Good morning. Welcome to the show again. You surviving through the week here?
I'm hanging out.
You're hanging out. Well, we're talking about med supplement. And a lot of people say, Steve, why are we talking about this? You know, because a lot of times we stay into planning, retirement, and we're talking about annuities, life insurance, but really people say they want the entree into the senior market. MedSup is a huge, huge door opener.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, you're looking at areas where you're going to have other people selling annuities that are MedSup agents when you could be doing this. And so we're really encouraging to really bring to the table the ability to always be able to talk. That's why we did the Social Security show. We did 5 shows so you could have a basic understanding how to talk about it. We're doing this series, MedSup, so that you have a basic idea how to talk to seniors. There's different ways that different seniors will allow you into their home to talk about certain things, whether it's retirement or whatever. This is a great entry-level area.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about how people this is something that everybody needs. Well, so right away, it's a commodity.
Well, they start, as we talked about before earlier, that when you get around 65, they start getting mail. They're going to get it from AARP, they're going to get it from Blue Cross and Blue Shield, they're going to get it from Mutual Omaha, they're going to get it from agents. So they know something's going to happen. There's some big life event that's about to happen because these people are paying so much attention to them. And it's confusing. And they're going to reach out to somebody. That may be a friend, neighbor, insurance agent, son, daughter, whatever, but someone needs to help them through this process. If you position yourself correctly and you're that guy, you can instantly gain some trust, gain another client. It's not they know they need to do something. It's a guaranteed issue product. Most of the time with turning 65, all the time 65, the premiums aren't that great. It's a great way to go in and get someone's trust, help them out with a simple product. And there's a lot of benefits for an agent to sell that product too.
Well, I noticed that there are people that make a living only doing this. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's mind-boggling to me that you could have such a one-dimensional approach and you can make a living on one area but you said something very important, and I want to really jump on that. It is a life event issue. This is a major league issue, especially heading into retirement. So everybody's doing all this propaganda for you. Everybody's spending their advertising dollars to get it to the mailbox. How can you talk to seniors now in the same way? And that, again, we're giving you this education. And just a little heads up, we're going to be doing a 2 workshop series with Sam that's going to break this out. It'll be only for producers only. Sorry about my consumers. Are going to be very unhappy about that. But maybe if it's legal and we'll see if we do it.
It's got agent use only on it.
Sorry about agent use only. But we're going to do that, and so that'll be a post-production 2 1 hour each. Well, actually, it's 2 1-hour workshops that'll really walk you through. And I mean, we're going to be talking about a lot of deeper issues than we're talking about now. Now, since I am in my early 60s, I thought, hey, this is a good time to test the waters out for Steve over the next 2 shows. So I want you to give me again this kind of yin and yang, a tale of 2 cities, original Medicare versus the Advantage plan that at least is today Advantage plan.
So you really have 3 choices. You can just stay on Medicare Parts A and B. Medicare's going to pick up 80% of your medical expenses. You're on the hook for 20% with no maximum out of pocket. So if you've got $1 million claim, you're on the hook for $200 grand. That's a scary number for a lot of people. You buy a MedSup, you buy a Plan F or a G, your medical premium is really only your medical expense for the year. So whatever you do, if your premium is $100 a month, you can count on that being your.
So the F has 0 deductible.
0 deductible.
Wow.
Now if you go to Medicare Advantage, you might not have a premium or a much lower premium than on a MedSup, but then you have some ongoing expenses as the year progresses. You've got doctor's office co-pays a lot of times, specialist co-pays, outpatient surgery percentages. So it's going to cost you more money over the course of the year to be with a Medicare Advantage. So they're going to take some money out of that program. I think next year, so those benefits will get a little skinnier. our family, everyone that turns 65, all have med subs, either Plans F or G, depending on what makes the most sense for that
Now,
person.
when we talked about Plan A, Plan B, right? Then there's D, prescription drug. I remember when the Bush administration was in and they brought this whole thing to the table, and did that pick up everybody's prescription, or no? They need a med sup D for that.
Part D is a partnership between CMS and private insurers and the drug companies to reduce drug costs to seniors. The seniors have some skin in the game. They're paying premiums on the low end, $17, $18 a month, high end, over $100 a month. The formularies are different, the copays are different, etc.
Is all this mean tested?
What's mean tested is the premium, the Part B premium that you pay. So that started recently. Most people were going to pay was $99. I think it's $104, $107 this year. Was their Part B premium. Now, if you make more money, that premium is going up, and I think it's as high as almost $300 a month that they would have to pay for that Part B premium.
Just because you have higher income.
Right. And then you also have your Med Sup premium or your Medicare Advantage premium on top of that number.
So if you're making some money, I noticed again, we're going to be handing out that PowerPoint as one of our show giveaways. I noticed at that lower end, although it seems to be like only 1 or 2% really pay that.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot. So, but you know, it's means tested. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, when I'm looking at all these options, we're just talking about the basic options. When I'm introducing myself into this, because I'm going to be looking at this in my early 60s, I'm already thinking, wow, there's a lot for me to understand here. And what I like is they're actually made something for you. This whole document, sorry for my notes, everybody can order this and get the complete down and dirty on MedSup and Medicare. After the break, we're going to continue my own personal interview for my own insurance. And don't forget to enroll at IULUniversity.com for the best training, education, and sales support when it comes to life insurance for retirement income.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Did you know the average 401k runs out of money just 7 to 8 years into retirement? Time Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, and many other publications have warned of the difficulty of saving with a 401k. But what if there was a way to create tax-free lifetime retirement income with no stock market risk? Good news, there is.
You know, living in fear of the next market dive is not the way I want to live my life.
Why would I go out there and take on risk when I don't need to?
I have a lot less stress knowing I can't lose any more of my retirement savings in the stock market.
Call now to receive your free, no-obligation analysis of what this retirement vehicle could do for you, a comparison to your current retirement plan, and a free video that explains this exciting opportunity. Start planning a retirement you can enjoy instead of worrying about future tax increases and stock market losses. Creating income that will last your entire life is the most important thing you'll ever do. Take control of your future. Call now for your free analysis, comparison, and video.
Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant with Sam Corey, and you can order today's giveaways at thebiz@brokersalliance.com. And what are we giving away today? Our Medigap summary, or MedSup summary that itemizes MedSup issues important to seniors and especially for your practice. And our PowerPoint presentation explanation, it's really nice and tight. Go ahead and order it. And just a heads up before moving forward with any of the ideas you hear on our show, always consult your tax advisor, especially when we talk about means testing. You're going to have to know all that. And remember, if you're FINRA licensed, you got to touch base with your broker-dealer compliance department before you start sending stuff out to anything that we're talking about on the show. We're continuing our talk, kind of our introduction into Medicare supplement insurance with Sam Corey, who's been in this thing forever. And we're talking about how to use this in your own practice as a great door opener into the senior market. But for me today, I'm playing Mr. Senior himself because I'm not that far out now, and I really want to know what's it about. And as I said before the break, with my notes attached, here is just one. Every state has their own, and I think this is a huge issue. It's almost in English. Think about that. Almost in English.
Fairly close.
It's really pretty easy to understand, but I have to read it. And after going through last night, I have to tell you, there's some exciting things in here that I didn't know about. You say, Steve, how can MedSup and Medicare be exciting? Well, it can be exciting because we're talking about saving serious money. Now, I want to talk about how do I sign up? I mean, everybody, I was talking to my people in my neighborhood and I said, how did you sign? He says, well, first of all, Steve, we were almost late. All of us were almost late doing it because we didn't know we had to sign up. We thought it was auto-plated. You know, talk a little bit about that.
And this causes more problems.
It does.
And more conversations in our office because it's somewhat confusing. If you're 65 and you're receiving Social Security, you automatically get enrolled in Part A. But if you keep working past 65, then you have to apply for it. You always have to apply for your Part B. Now, depending whether you're working, whether you're covered, whether you're retired, that's where it gets a little tricky. When do you get your part? When do you apply for your Part B?
Let's back up. So I retire at 65. I get A. I get it automatic.
Right.
Now I have to figure out how I'm going to cover my Part B.
Right.
All right.
So you go apply for Part B. Contact your Social Security office. Tell them you need.
I have to stand in line. Do I have to?
I think you do it online.
Oh, you can do it online. Okay, now. But, oh no, a lot of us baby boomers, we are not punching out at 65. We're going to go on beyond that in our work time. So what happens if I get past that? Am I automatically in A then or no?
No, you have to choose A.
And
a lot of times that gets driven by the type of health insurance where you're
that you have at your work.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
So depending on the size of the group, you may be required by your group to pick up A, or maybe not. That's where it gets a little bit tricky, and you sort of have to look at it as case by case basis because you have to understand how they're covered.
Well, that's a very important distinction, and like I said, the reason I asked it was because so many of my people said that I was talking to actually came back to me and said, Steve, we messed this up. We had problems.
It's easy to do.
So that's an important thing. How do I sign up for it? Well, if I'm going to retire at 65, I get A, but I still need to cover myself for Part B.
Right.
Okay.
You got to apply for your Part B.
All right. Now, if I'm not automatically enrolled, when can I sign up?
That's still the around your 65th birthday.
So, okay, so if I'm working, that's when it becomes an issue. When I'm not working, that's when I don't have to worry about it. Now I'm looking at, should I get Part B? When I saw this first, I was like, well, isn't that the whole reason why we're talking about MedSup? But why do people, if I'm talking to a regular client who probably is completely unaware of this coming, now remember they haven't got their mail yet because they're not quite 65, but they're saying, what's the Part B? What is all this? I thought Medicare paid everything.
Medicare pays some.
I thought Obamacare in 2014 is going to pay everything.
And they pay some too.
Okay.
Part B is your physician's charges, which typically are going to have your larger claims except for the catastrophic type facility charges. And it's really driven by how your drug plan or your health plan again, how you're covered, because sometimes Medicare is primary, sometimes it's secondary. So that's where it gets in. It all depends on how your group, if you're still working, how your group health coverage is structured. And that varies by company, by carrier, by state.
Well, when I'm looking at some of the things, I'm looking at this here on this one page, how does insurance work with Medicare, right? I mean, I'm always trying to see, because there's a disparity here on how does it integrate with it. I mean, it's not, to me, when I read this, it didn't look very homogenous to me.
No, and it's all based on whether you have a small group or large group. 20. The cutoff is 20 lives. The rules are different for under 20 lives as they are. They're different over 50 lives. A lot of times in a smaller company, the principal who's now turning 65 has been on the group health plan. Their premiums are substantial, $1,000 a month. All of a sudden they turn 65. Well, they can disenroll themselves from their group health plan and go right on Medicare. So they save them a ton of cash.
Save the company a ton of cash.
Which is,
and if you're paying part of the premium as an employee, it'll save you some because it's going to be cheaper.
Now only the principal can do that. Now the employees cannot be forced off the group health plan to go get Medicare.
But they could if they wanted to, if they're paying a large amount of their own or deductibles or the math is better or whatever. So really, when I think about this, pretty much when I turn 65 and I'm an owner, I can pull myself off the roll.
Absolutely.
If I'm an employee, I have to do the math and see which is the better way to go here, especially if I'm shelling out some of this myself.
It depends what your percentage of contribution is on your health plan.
Now remember, we have people that are married at different stages. They might have 2-3 year spreads. They treat each person separately.
That's right.
So I may be turning 65 earlier, my wife not as early.
That's a really common problem where the working spouse retires at 65, goes on Medicare. His wife's 62. All of a sudden, she's left in the lurch, and now she's got COBRA or some other very expensive options. So that's one of those planning things you really have to think about.
Right, and when I think about it, I mean, I'm wondering, are there any other alternatives for the younger one? Can she actually go out and get Medicare or MedSup before? No. So that's an issue. Be careful because that becomes up all the time. We have the older person retiring, the younger person not ready to do it. Remember, you can watch this show and all our shows on MedSup by clicking on our red on-demand video button right on our homepage at brokersalliance.com. Well, that's the Buzz on the Biz for today. Get in the zone, the business insurance zone.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.